Oh my god. Breaking news. The vice pres or no. The president's wife has COVID. What? That's crazy. Dude. Oh my god. That's kind of funny. Oh man. Anywho, I just read that right before I hit record. Um oh boy, here comes another and filled episode. I talked about it last week, how I wanted to stop doing that. So I hope this week I can teach myself to stop doing that. Wow, I almost did it. So, I guess so is going to become my new crutch. I wanted to talk about something on here. It's been a bit since I've done an episode. And I guess I'll do an update on the Linus stuff. It has been almost 3 weeks since Linus Tech Tips got. Actually, no, it has been 3 weeks since LTT got, quote unquote, canceled or whatever. And I wanted to talk about where they're at now because it kind of keeps the consistency of the episodes. It'd be weird if I talked about them being canceled and didn't talk about the redemption, quote unquote. So, from what I've learned, they are back to their semi-regular schedule. They're doing their podcast now, and they are pull up their channel. Doing their podcast now. They've been doing videos like every other day. And I think today's the first time they've uploaded a video directly after another video. Yeah, here's their channel. I'm logged into my other channel, my podcast channel. So I'm not subbed. But I'm subbed on my other channel. So here's their channel. They've only uploaded 4 videos. I know I've visited Floatplane and seen that they have other videos in the chamber. They've done 2 podcast episodes. And I've even seen where the guy that they just did a tech upgrade for, I guess he quit. Not quit, but like he left. And his reasons are interesting. But yeah, I guess he left. And then I just watched these videos. It's interesting. They now have fact checkers at the end of the videos.
This may have
if you look in their credits.
the Apple we should be for bringing us the.
Where is it? God, I'm all over the place. They're right at the beginning of the credits.
On weird old Pro, great, pretty.
There it is. So they now have fact checkers in the credits. How interesting is that? That they've hired on fact checkers. It's on this one too, which is really weird because it's just a video about them building a Timu computer.
Maybe go check out.
See, they got fact checkers on this one. I wonder
This
if
may have come before.
I wonder if it's on the other videos. Let's check.
In 2010.
I wonder if they needed fact checkers. Yeah, they do have fact checkers on all these videos. I didn't notice until today. Wow. That's awesome. I know that they talked about it before the Gamers Nexus video, that they were going to have fact checkers. But I guess they finally implemented it. I've also noticed the videos are getting longer. I guess because they have more time to edit now, they're just making longer videos. But they're not bad. You know, the videos really aren't that bad. I'm also finding out that it's possible. Oh, I'm finding out that the guy from Labs that kind of subtly shaded some of the other tech channels during a tour video on another guy's channel, he seems to not be working there anymore. It's speculated that they fired him, but from what I've seen, more likely it's they just or Or it's more likely he just went back to school. So I highly doubt that one's a negative firing. So that's an LTT update. Anyways, in keeping up with the podcast lore, I have to point out that I changed the picture on here. The old picture is of a rendering of this townhome subdivision. I've used this for a bit, as I've also used the house background photo. Let me find it. This photo is a CG rendering of a house in a subdivision, or at least the background seems to be CG edited a decent bit. The house might be real. That's up for speculation. I just thought the photo was funny because it looks so artificial. So I've decided to use it. And now for a bit I transitioned to this one. And I decided, you know what? I'm sick of using this weird CG render of a photo. I need to use a photo unique to the podcast. This photo makes no sense. There needs to be some like brand recognition for a podcast that gets like under 100 views on average. So here we are. It's a picture that I took at the beach. So I've started using that. I've also changed the profile picture for the podcast and the profile picture of the Clips channel. And I've updated it on Spotify and YouTube Music, I think. Let me see if it's updated on Spotify already. Because I haven't checked in a little bit. Let's look. Show all. So the picture's different. It looks like all the episodes have updated now. I know that I had to like manually go in and change it for the episodes. I don't know what it is. The profile picture looks like it's not centered. It's just bothering me too much. I know it's centered, but it just looks like it's not. Might be the angle of my monitor. So I changed the picture on there. It's different on YouTube Music. I'm still not on Apple Podcasts, I don't think. Which I need to change that. I don't know how to really do it. And I kind of don't have the energy to, because who's really listening on Apple Podcasts? So I think I'm just going to stick to Spotify and YouTube for now. And obviously the audio episodes are uploaded to Patreon. I do indeed have a Patreon. Let me pull it up. So I do upload all the episodes to Patreon. And they're all audio only. Because I don't feel like processing video on Patreon. Let me view it as a patron. Yes, so here's the view as a patron. So all the audio episodes are on Patreon. And it goes back to, I say all, but it only goes back to episode 12 and episode 10, I guess. I guess I did upload that back in 2019. Yeah, episode 10 and 12 through now is uploaded to Patreon. And I upload them a day or two early. Let me look at the tiers. So yeah, this one is just general support. I need to update the tiers to not say ad free because I don't do ads. This one's all the other tiers, but you know, it's just like to support because $100 is unreasonable unless you just wanted to support me. And so yeah, early access to audio episodes. I need to update this one because I also, or no, I don't. Do I? I don't think I do. I just give these early access to audio episodes. And hopefully bonus content in the future. Maybe a bonus episode once a month. Who knows? And I don't know what previews are. I guess previews for upcoming projects. Supporting me. Obviously, I guess if there's ad-free stuff. But these tiers also get Discord benefits. So when you join the Discord, you get a role and an exclusive chat with that role. Listen on other podcast apps. There's an RSS feed. I've categorized them into collections. This one needs a new picture. Not sure why that's the picture. And then I guess I should pull up the Discord. Let me go grab the. Let me go open Discord. I never open Discord. So yeah, the link is on the Patreon. And the Discord is still mostly under construction. Or no, it's not mostly. It's slightly under construction still. But it's basically finished. So let me view it as a listener. Roles. Listener. View server as that role. I'm getting confused. I need to drag Discord over here. So here's the Discord. And I'm viewing it as a listener at the moment. So here's what it looks like when you join it as a. Why is that one locked? Whatever, I guess so people can't join it. When you are a Patreon supporter, you get access to this chat. And when, hopefully in the future, when I have access to YouTube memberships on my YouTube channel, the main channel, I probably won't do it on the podcast channel. If I do, it will be both. Hopefully I can do it in a way where if you're a member, you get access to a member channel. If I can't do it that way, then I'm going to not do it like that. But hopefully I can make that part of the benefits of being a member where you get access to it as... You get access to an exclusive chat and a role. This is an experimental role, but yeah. If you're a patron, you get access to an exclusive Patreon-only chat. Did I remove a server recently, or am I just tripping because I'm seeing it in a different way? Because it's in a bigger screen. Where's the... What was that? Add a super reaction. Interesting. So hopefully there are more chats to come. What chats can I view as a listener? Is there a quicker way to do this? Because I want to view the server under certain roles. Settings. I guess I have to go to the roles, right? View server as role. Okay, so yeah, I guess I'll add more channels later on because it is kind of a bare server. But I'm trying to expand it. There just has to be people in here. Because if there aren't any people in here, then it's like it's just kind of strange. It's kind of a dead server. So yeah, there is a Discord. I'll probably start adding it to the description. That's the update on that. Let's see if I have any life updates. Do I have any life updates? Not really. Oh, I gotta close Discord entirely. So. That's a big dead air pause I just left in there. So I'm trying to do the podcast more consistently, and I'm finding that I can't really figure out how to talk about myself in a way that doesn't sound really weird. Oh man, I need to update the default description to the podcast episodes. It's all over the place. bump my personal links down a peg. Seems like I'm kind of prioritizing my own social media when I shouldn't be. So I'm gonna bump that. I know it's not on screen, but I want to put my personal links towards the bottom. Maybe I'll put the Patreon and Discord at the top. That sounds like a good idea. I even have like my Blue Sky link in here. Alright, that seems like it's a way better setup. Save. So we're 26 episodes in to this podcast. The podcast has been going for almost 7 years now, give or take, with like 1 year off. And granted, some of those years only had like 1 or 2 episodes in them. And I still have difficulty talking about myself in a way that doesn't sound weird. I don't want to get like too personal, because I'm not all that comfortable with being a public figure yet. I haven't really gotten it all figured out. And I want to get personal, but also the people that watch this, if I have friends and stuff that watch these episodes, I don't want it to be where they watch it and they're like, oh, I know this thing about him now, and I'm just gonna like bring it up. Now, I guess I wouldn't have a problem with that. Plus, who am I talking to in my personal life, right? That doesn't already know all the things that I talk about. Let's see if I have any things I could talk about that aren't about YouTube, that aren't about social media, that are just about me. Something personal to me that I can also put in the title. I guess I probably could put it in the title if I talked about it. I'm talking about it 17 minutes in. That's like, who's watching this far in for that topic? Something super personal about me that I wouldn't mind talking about now. That's not super deep. Maybe I could do something medical. What's something medical about me that's not like too personal? Like not like triggering kind of thing. Triggering in like a trauma type of way. Something that's not heavy. It's funny too, it'll be in the chapters, so like it's not even a spoiler that I'm going to talk about it. I guess I can open up about my medical condition. I have a mental... No. Should I talk about that? Let me dedicate a whole episode to that later on. What could I talk about? Really nothing. I mean, anything that's happened to me in the last few years, like I've been in a car accident. I've discovered certain quirks about me, that I might have certain medical conditions that I'm not diagnosed with, but probably should be. The one I want to dedicate a whole episode to is my Tourette syndrome. That one's such a deep, like I can go so in depth on that one, but I feel like starting the topic now, I guess starting the topic now would be the only natural way to do it, right? I have a mental disorder called Tourette syndrome. I guess I will just talk about it. There's no other natural way for me to bring it up without it being weird. And I guess, yes, I will then title the episode this and somehow find a picture for the thumbnail. And also, it's about to hit midnight, entering my after dark topics. I used to get really deep with friends on Discord around this time. Usually once it hit like 1 a.m., we'd get super deep, start talking about life as like 17-year-olds. So I have a thing called Tourette syndrome. It is I guess the medical community considers it a nervous system disorder. So it's an abnormal nervous system. It's genetic. I don't know if you'd call it a psychological condition, but it is essentially a nervous disorder It's a nerve disorder where your brain is firing off commands that it shouldn't be. So, for instance, everyone subconsciously breathes. Their brain sends out. Let's describe it in terms of a boss and his employees, his or her employees. All right, inclusivity here. Let's say there's a boss with employees, and they have a normal company will have the boss, and then let's say 4 employees. They have an employee named the lungs, an employee named the eyelids, an employee named the heart. And I said 4, but let's just categorize the 4th employee as every other subconscious body function that you do. So, your blood going throughout your body or whatever, processing fluids, all that. 4 is all the other normal stuff. With Tourette's, there is a boss and about 1,000 employees that come and go throughout the day. So you have the main employees, the employees of the month, the lungs, heart, eyelids, and all the other normal body functions. But the eyelids and the lungs are a little weird. They are a little fucked up in the head. And the boss keeps sending them, or no, they aren't fucked in the head, but the boss is fucked up in the head. And keeps telling the lungs and eyelids to do really weird assignments. And the lungs and eyelids have no choice but to do those assignments. There is just no other option for them. Then the boss has hired on other employees. Employees like the throat and the arms and the hands and the legs. Any extremity. He or she or they have hired on every other body part to be a part of this company, and they are essentially they aren't even essential to the company. Or at least in this kind of department. They are not essential in this line of work. They should be working somewhere else. But instead they are now working 2 jobs. The second job is not very essential. The boss is then telling them to do things that they don't need to be doing. And the boss is burning through resources, asking them to do it. Now, let me put it in more medical terms. My brain tells me to do things that I am forced to do in the same way that I am forced to breathe, in the same way that I am forced to blink, in the same way that my body subconsciously makes my heart beat. These are things that I have to do, and if I don't do them, I get incredibly uncomfortable. Unlike my lungs, unlike breathing, if I stop doing these things, it will bring me great discomfort. It just won't kill me. So while I am required to breathe, I'm not technically required to blink. It will just be very uncomfortable, and my eyes may become damaged as a result. I do rapid blinking and uncontrollable face twitching. I have uncontrollable lung breathing problems where I'll force all the air out of my lungs, or I'll start rapidly breathing in bursts. I will twitch my hands and fingers, and I also do a noise with the back of my throat, a noise, or that kind of noise with my throat where I'm coughing sort of. And I've done it during episodes, I've done it during live streams, videos, I've done it all across the whole time I've been on the internet. I've done it pretty much my entire life. And that's my form of it. Now, another thing is that the boss has hired on these services that he needs, or he or she or they needs. So, like, let's say you need uh what's a good analogy for this? The boss needs two different consulting firms. They need a firm called OCD and they need a firm called ADHD. Now, I have not been officially diagnosed with OCD or ADHD. I have been officially diagnosed with Tourette syndrome. Let me disclaim that. However, I have every symptom of OCD, and recently I have kind of come to terms with the fact that I have every symptom of ADHD. I have OCD in many different forms, in many different ways. I have ADHD in the fact that, I mean, it shows in the podcast where if you're watching an episode and I just cannot focus on a topic, there you go. That's the smallest way you'll notice it. But it affects me in ways larger than that. So, a lot of people with Tourette syndrome, a lot of the time they will have OCD, which plays a huge part in their tics, and they will have ADHD, just as a byproduct. And sometimes the tics can distract you from things that you're doing and can throw you off track. Now, when people have Tourette's, there's a popular stereotype that people with Tourette's love to cuss up a storm or love to just scream out random phrases or words or love screaming out impressions. Some people with Tourette's do have that. I don't. The only audible tic I have is the throat thing. Now, let me take a sip of water. There are certain criteria to being diagnosed with Tourette's. And it varies usually. A lot of doctors will usually have their own way of interpreting it. But generally, the guidelines for having Tourette's, and you do need to have a medical diagnosis for this, is at least one audible tic, and I believe it was like 2 or more physical tics. And I have one audible tic, I guess technically 2, but they're from the same body part. And I have occasional temporary audible tics that come in waves. And then I have like endless physical tics. I remember one that I had growing up was I would form my hand into like a hook and then start like twitching my hand in. I guess I'll demonstrate it. So I will take my hand like this and I will do this. And then my arms will like lock up like that. And see, even when I go to demonstrate it, my body then starts to tick into it too. And I can't stop that. That was fully real. So I guess slight trigger warning if you have Tourette's. That was real. That I just locked up like that. If I go to demonstrate one, once I start, my body will lock in and I can't stop. So I have that, and oh my god, that took so much out of me. Why was that kind of traumatic for me? It's not every day that I'm showing people tics. I'm usually trying to avoid them, and it usually makes me very tired. I will do... Hold on, I have to burp. Ugh, sorry. I had to burp. I will do like face tics where like see I'll do that. I'll do that. And it's not as noticeable when I'm recording something or streaming because I usually try to suppress it or I'm like subconsciously not doing it because I know I'm on camera. But I know I've done it before on camera. Like right now I'm really trying not to do it. And so yeah, I have that. That was one that I did a lot when I was younger, so I really hope I don't start doing it now that I've demonstrated it. I've like I have one where my hands will do that. Um, let's see. Whenever I'm driving, I have tics in my feet and slightly in my legs. Like I have to keep readjusting my foot in my shoe if I don't. Like if I'm driving, if I don't, then I get really uncomfortable. So, sorry, I wanted to lay back in my chair again. Small face cam cameo, also featuring the new piano I have in the back. So those are just some of my tics. I have more. Like I have ones where I will like roll my stomach, or I'll stiffen up my, like I'll flex my stomach. And whenever I get into that one hurts a lot. Like I have neck ones that I do where I'm like this, or I'm like that, or I crank my neck around like that. And then I have what are other ones that I have? The neck one's a big one. I have ones where like my breathing will get all weird. I've had really scary moments where the tics will get so bad with my breathing. I was in the shower once and I legit like stopped breathing because I couldn't do the tic and I was sort of fighting it. And I just had to give up, but then at that point I couldn't force the tic. So I literally couldn't breathe for like almost a full minute. And I thought I was going to like pass out in the shower. And that was a really scary moment. And then eventually I just let out like a really large, like, just like visceral yell because I had to breathe at that point. And that kind of overrode my tics. That was a really scary moment for me. So I had that. But that's just like a few examples of tics that I have. Those are just, I mean, yeah, those are just a few that I can think of off the top of my head. I'm in a very tick light period of time right now. I'm not really having too many major tick problems at the moment. Yawning a lot because how late it is. Shit. I don't have a whole lot of anxiety. A lot of anxiety usually will heighten it if I'm nervous about something. It'll ramp up my tics. I have this wrist twisting one that I've been doing a lot. But those are like the major things about Tourette's. If you think you have Tourette's, it's possible. If you get anxious and you start ticking, then you might have motor tic syndrome, or you just get nervous tics. A lot of people mistaken their tics as Tourette's because a lot of people can have nervous tics. A lot of people with autism have tics. But Tourette's is not that common. And even amongst the people with Tourette's, only like I think like only about 1.3%, 1 to 3% of people with Tourette's in the small pool of people that already is. They have the like loud what's the word? They have like the very obvious like fuck shit fuck like that kind of Tourette's. But that's what I'm saying. It's such a big stereotype, and people don't usually upset me with it. I only get upset when people that know me ignorantly make fun of it, or when they find out about it they're like, oh, you're like cussing all the time, or oh dude, there's no way you have it, I don't hear you swearing a lot. That's the only time it really makes me upset, is when people that I know say stuff like that. But it doesn't really make me upset, to be honest. Like if someone I don't know makes fun of me, I'm like, whatever dude, because I know they're like a sad, miserable person. Sometimes I'll get a little upset when a big online influencer or creator perpetuates the stereotype, because I think it just makes me more sad than anything, because it's they have a large influence, and it's influencing their audience to start making fun of people with Tourette's, or it, teaches them that that's everybody with it, and it's not. So it just becomes this really unfortunate thing where I can't change people's perception of it, and I can't, but like, also, I shouldn't be getting upset. I've lived with it my whole life. Getting upset is not going to change the fact that I have it. I've even said before to people that if they were all of a sudden like, oh, we have this super safe FDA approved surgery to correct it, or hey, we have this super safe FDA approved medication to correct it and it'll get rid of it, I don't think I would go for it. I think I would keep it. If they were like, it's 99.9% proven to correct the symptoms of it, the downsides are not that bad, it's very manageable, you won't even really notice if you're on it, like a personality change. You'll only notice that the tics are gone. If it was something like that, then like, yeah, I guess maybe I would go for it. But I don't, I don't know if I would take something like that. It's like not a whole big part of my personality, but it's so unique to me. I feel like if I took something like that or did surgery or anything to get rid of it, I feel like I would be losing something that's kind of specific and unique to me. I think a lot of people with medical anomalies, like people with autism or people with Tourette's or just people with many different mental or medical conditions, I feel like a lot of them can relate to that, where okay, it's not like life or death for me. They're like, I feel like it's not worth it to get rid of it. I feel like a lot of people can relate to me on that. I'm getting, my blood sugar is dropping. I guess talking about the Tourette's is taking a lot out of me. Oh, it's tiring to talk by yourself for this long. Let me make a note that at 37:45 I have to cut that long silence, or else this is just gonna sound really awkward. Let's see, 37:45. Cut the silence. It's been a while since I've written notes like this. I used to write notes during the episodes, but that's back when I had somebody else with me, so I could take notes of that kind of stuff. Now, if it's me by myself, now it's kind of harder because I don't want to like lose my train of thought while I'm writing down notes. Me and Steven used to host this together, and me and Steven are obviously two busy adults. We have diverged on our own paths, so it's kind of harder for us to do these episodes together, so I usually just do them by myself. But I might hit him up to do one with him. I might also hit up a friend of mine to do one with me, because I want to do more I want to do more episodes with people that I like. I hope I can do, I wouldn't even call it guest episodes. I would call them like episodes I do with friends. One exciting thing I'm doing is I'm going to a reunion in a couple weeks. I'm going to a reunion with a bunch of people that I interned with for an audio engineering program. So that'll be pretty fun. I'll get to see people that I haven't seen in a few years. The last time we did something similar to it was in the middle of 2021. We all came there to paint on a ceiling tile to go up in the ceiling. So that'll be exciting to visit, and I'll be able to see people that I haven't seen in a long time. It's people that I went to school with. And it's one of those things, like, I feel like a lot of people have had that fantasy of, oh, if you could get your old 5th grade class together or something like that, and see where everybody's at now. That would be such a interesting, like, thing to do. That would be something I would want to do. It's everyone that I knew in that program when I was a senior in high school, and I would be able to kind of reunite with them. Last time I saw everybody, I guess, was 2021. Quote unquote everybody. Not everybody showed up. Last time I saw, like, everyone was the day before they told us we couldn't come back to school. The day before I woke up when I was told you're not going back for at least a couple weeks, and then soon found out that school was over entirely. So that was probably March. I wonder if I could get an actual date for that. It was March something. Let me look at a calendar. It was a Thursday, and I remember they just straight up said, you're not going back for at least 2 weeks, and then it got extended to ever. I want to say it was probably March 19th or March 12th. Either of those. Let's see, what day was I can actually confirm that. What day was my little trip that I did? Gotta figure this out. Let's see. It was... Oh my god, my blood sugar's so bad, I'm shaking. Fine. Gotta look. It would have been... Why can't I find it? Oh. So it was probably... Damn, it was probably March 12th. Wow. Oh, that's sad. March 12th, 2020 was probably the last time I saw everybody. This dude, 2020 started off crazy. I became an adult. I mean, I guess that's one thing, but like starting out, our school almost exploded, and then like a whole hallway flooded, and I got like a weird like viral infection in my stomach. Like I just got like a horrible food bug, and then went to school anyway. I ended up getting what I think could have been COVID before it was officially documented as entering my state. I think I might have had COVID. We had entered midwinter break, and it was my birthday week, and I got super sick. I had a horrible cough, and I had a bad sneeze, but I had like a fever and everything, and then it was my birthday. Let's see. I injured my knee that January of that year, my left knee, and I've had problems with it ever since. I had a lot of things happened at the beginning of that year before COVID, and then to top it all off, then COVID happened. That was the first time I snuck out of the house. I snuck out with friends on New Year's to go to Steak and Shake. God, Steak and Shake sounds so good right now. So I snuck out of the house for the first time, and then I also snuck out a few more times. And then COVID happened, and then I started like hanging out with friends, but it was just our core group. We were only ever hanging out with each other. So instead of being near anybody in public, if we ever were in public, we were always wearing masks. And I was always with just one core group of people. So if any of us got sick, all of us were getting sick. And then I went on a trip with friends for the first time without like an adult there technically. or at least an adult staying with us. And the year ended with me starting a relationship. So I mean, it was a crazy year. COVID was like somehow on the back seat of that year compared to everything else I did or whatever happened to me. Yeah, it was an insane year. Open scene filters. I can have scene filters? What? Oh, to go over the whole scene? I didn't even know. What? No way. I can do the whole scene? Oh, that's crazy. That's some crazy shit right there. Anyways, I'm going to have to end it early. My blood sugar is like way too low. I'm going to have to eat something before I go to bed. But hope you made it this far. Remember, I have a Patreon. It'll be in the description. I have a Discord. That'll also be in the description. And, you know, feel free to chat and all that. I don't really have any rules written down. So, but like the rules are obvious. You know, there are very obvious rules in place that I will probably just port over from another chat that I have rules on. So anyways, and also make sure to subscribe to the channel. You know, 2 to 4 episodes every month, but it seems that I've been trying to do one at least once a week, and I've been somewhat consistent. And yeah, we're also on Spotify and YouTube Music. So if you want an audio-only episode where the visual is not on screen and you're not draining your battery, we're on Spotify and YouTube Music. Anywho, hope you all, if you listen this far, enjoyed the episode. And I'm going to go eat something and go to bed. Peace.